Yesterday I made this gorgeous laser engraved and laser cut keychain of my son. It started by looking like this, and I then used UV resin and paint markers and color filling to enhance it, and a ton of glitter. He loves blue, and I will show you today how you can make the same. So the image on this one, I just finished a tutorial on how I use an app called VectorQ to generate these SVGs from photos. So if you want to watch, the link is in the description. But today I'll show you how to make a keychain out of it with UV resin. First step is to color fill it. Mine was cut from cardboard. It's also called fiber sheet, and it has this glossy surface. So color filling this is so easy. You could also use wood, acrylic, any other type of material for this. And if you want to color fill it, you can follow some of my other tutorials on how to color fill. But this one is easy because I just take some black acrylic paint, and since I don't need a lot, I'll just take a thin brush and I'll just stick it inside my bottle. So it will be a little messy up here, but that's okay. And you just color in all your black. Just get some more on here. And make sure that all your paints are stuck down to the engraving. When you're engraving and want to color fill, make sure that your engrave is pretty deep, because once you're going to wipe this away, it might take out the paint if you didn't engrave it with a certain depth. To engrave deeper, you'll simply have to either slow down your speed, or increase your power, and that will make it engrave deeper. But you see how I now filled all the engravings. If I had some areas where I could still see some brown, it would be an indication that I didn't push my paint down into it well enough. So once you have it, you will grab some baby wipes. And as said, this material is really easy. So I'll just lay out a few wipes here on the table. Make sure that they are flat, because I'll then take my keychain and just drag it over. I could do this in my hand, but I know that sometimes your hands will curve enough to go down into the engraving, and then you will actually take out some of the paint. So I find this to be way easier. Once I'm done though, I will go in and just gently wipe over the excess area, so I'm not pushing in any way. I'm just carefully wiping over this wipe. So this is the first step. And you could now use your UV resin if you want, but I actually wanted to show you how to give it some color. So if you don't want to color it, you just let this dry, and then you could continue with the resin. But since I want to color mine, I'll just do it while my black paint is drying anyway. So I'll be using a skin tones marker and a yellow marker. These are acrylic markers from Amazon. I dropped the link below, but I love these because they actually have 2 colors in one pen and they will match each other. So let's start with the pink, and I'll just see if I have, or I can just use this wipe, I think. I'll just check the color because one of these are a little, I don't know, Chinese looking skin tone, and my son is Danish. So I'll grab the other end. I think it was this one. Let's see. And that wasn't the correct one. So I'll just take my baby wipe and use it as a little eraser. So let's use this other end. And that's more like the color of my son's skin anyway. So you now just go in and paint up the details. I will speed up my video just a little bit so you don't have to watch the entire process, but you just go over the white areas if you want to add in color. So that's the pink. Now to his shirt, and this is a Winnie the Pooh shirt, so I'll of course paint it the same colors as it was original. And for this one you have to be a little careful because I don't want to color my black lines, so I'm really not pushing very hard and I'm just gently touching the white spots. So my son is really blonde and it's hard to find a blonde color. So yesterday I actually used, let me just see if I can find it, this lighter brown color. I'm not sure how well I liked this result, so instead I will go ahead and try a really light yellow. And the great thing is that you can always paint over with another color if you don't like it. But let's just see how this is compared to it. And it's way better. So Vector Q didn't really take all his hair because the light reflected differently. So I'm just making kind of a stripe down where his hairline would go. And I will do the same on top of here, so I'll just go a little under the engraved area here. So now he has more hair. And once you have this, you could use the UV resin now, but I really want to cover my back because this MDF hardboard will be showing, because I want to use glitter on the back. So I'll just pick a color. Yesterday I ran a blue theme, but I'm thinking that I'll take this and make as a gift for grandma, and she loves purple, so let's do it a little fun and make this purple instead. So again, you just take a acrylic paint pen and you can then paint the back in whatever color you want. This one was blue because it's my son's favorite color, and the keychain I made there was actually for him and he loved it. He actually asked me this morning if I was going to make him another one today. So I told him I was going to make another, but not for him. So let's just see if Grandma will be allowed to keep this. The edges I actually want to paint as well, because otherwise this brown might be showing through. But when you're using acrylic markers, it's really easy to do and they dry up so fast. So I'll just run it around the entire edge. And I think my front is almost dry anyway, so I can get straight to the UV resin. So once your painting is dry, it's time to the fun part of UV resin. I'll start by saying that please be safe, wear gloves and also a respirator mask, because the fumes of UV resin, regular resin and stuff like that is toxic, and you don't want to risk your health on any of your crafts. So even though you will look stupid with the mask on, please wear it. So besides that, I'll put mine on in just a second. You'll need a UV light of some sort. I bought a kit that included both my UV resin, also some jewelry accessories, some resin. This is not from the kit, I bought it afterwards. And it also came with some resin dyes and some glitter and stuff like that. I'll drop a link below to the kit that I have, and also to anything else that is helpful for me when doing UV resin. So like this silicone mat, it's actually for dinner tables, but I got them from Amazon as well. And also I'll be using mica powder from Amazon and glitter from Amazon. So I'll drop the link below to what I need. But let's get the gloves on and my mask. Okay, so I'm now safe. I hope you can hear me just as well. So what I want to start with is the edges, because I want glitter on those, and afterwards I'll take the back. So I'll actually wait with the front until last. But to make the back, and because I'm running this purple theme, I'll be using, of course, my UV resin. I'll be using some fine purple glitter, and for the front I'll be using something that's a little more rough. I couldn't really find any purple in this set, but I have this pink one, so I'm hoping that will do okay. For my mica powder, I want a purple color as well. Let's just see. I think I'll go with this. That's this violet. Oh, another thing that always comes in handy is a lighter or a heat gun, small heat gun. For the keychains, a lighter is enough. Use the ones that have a big handle, because you will end up making holes in your gloves or burning yourself with a regular lighter. And also you'll need these small silicone pens. These are for nails, I believe. You can find a ton of these on Amazon as well. And as said, I'll drop the links below. But let's mix in some colors. So take off the cap of your UV resin, and let's just see if I can show you how much you need. So you don't need a lot. I don't know if you can tell how much this is, but I actually think I got a little too much. For my powder here, I'll just open it over here. I'll actually just use a toothpick and I'll just pour in a tiny amount. Get it up here and show you. So like this. And I'll add in my glitter. And you could use a popsicle stick or something else if you want. So there's the glitter. And you just give it a nice swirl and blend it. So my glitter is lighter than my purple color, but I think they will be pretty together. And you don't have to swirl for longer than this, just be sure that your colors are mixed. And unlike regular resin, this just doesn't have to sit and wait. You can use it right away. So I'll just close up my glitter and my mica powder bag so I don't end up having powder all over. And now to the fun part. So you want to make sure that there's no dust laying on top of your keychain, and we'll start with the edges. So I'm actually going to use this fine point tip, and I'll just add the resin to it. Whoops, I already spilled. So you just want to kind of tap the edge. Make sure that you don't hold it or position it to the other front side, because I actually don't want this fine glitter to get on top of that. But you just continue all the way around this. And once you're all across the edge, just rotate it a tiny bit to see that it is covering everywhere, and see if you can wipe off just some of the resin if you got anything on the back like I did. Don't worry, because you will add resin to it and it is self-leveling, so you will not risk to have bumps on the back. Before I turn on my UV lamp, I want to take this away, because otherwise I might end up curing that as well. For the edge, I'll not be using my lighter, because it's so little that you can hardly see if there is any bubbles. Also, I think I might end up doing one more time of it. But I'll just take my lamp and I'll stand like this for about a minute. So I'll of course speed up the tutorial so you don't have to watch this. So it didn't even take a minute, but you can kind of feel when it's cured to the point that you can touch it without getting anything on your glove. So I'll leave it on the front, and also make sure that you're always doing this on a table that's level, because if it's not, the resin is self-leveling and it might end up in the wrong side of your project. But I'll just grab the rest of this and I'll see if it didn't cure this one. So for this one, you just want to pour. And you need about this amount. Let me just see if I can zoom in somehow. I'll move it over here. So this is pretty much the amount that you want, and you'll then use your silicone tool to kind of get it all over the back. So I'm kind of pushing but also dabbing my way towards the edge, and once I have it spread out just a little closer to the edge, I'll go ahead and kind of dab on the edge and spread it out. And once you have it spread out, you can see if there's any spots where you might need more resin. So you could go in and just add a little more, like here. And you come a long way with very little. So be careful that you don't get too much on the back, because it might run over the sides. Let's see, I think I'm starting to have it here. So around the hole you want to be very careful. If you should, if it does happen that you close this hole, you can drill a new one with a jewelry drill. I'll show you mine afterwards. But if you're just careful, you can spread around the hole without it going inside it. So once you've spread out and it looks okay, you take your lighter and you just move it over like this to remove any air bubbles. Like that. And once you've done this, you might be able to see some spots around where you didn't get enough on, or where it vaporized when you hit it with the lighter. So always go in and fix up the edges. If you have tiny hair, stuff like that, you could use your toothpick to just kind of pick it out. Also, if you see any bubbles that's not supposed to be there, you can also poke them with the toothpick. But once you think you're satisfied, you squat down, and from the surface you can see if everything is shiny. So I'm actually sitting on the floor right now, and I see that I'm missing just a few spots on the edge here. So I'm just kind of dabbing, and also I do have a little hair or something inside here. It could just be a piece of glitter, I think it was, that didn't soak down to the bottom. So I'll just take my lighter again and move across the keychain. And I think I'm ready to go. So once again, I'll remove the rest of my UV resin. It's always nice to save just a little, because if you do mess up, you have a little bit to fix it with. Let's just zoom back like this. And again, I'll turn on my UV lamp. I'll place it on top of the keychain, and this needs to cure. You can always tell from the back of the box, and this one is about 1 to 2 minutes each layer. You can actually use this in direct sun, 10 to 15 minutes, or direct sun on a cloudy day, 30 to 60 minutes. But this is the fast and easy way. So please make sure to get a UV lamp. So I'll place this and get back to you in 2 minutes. So my back is cured now. I removed my gloves while waiting for it to cure. So I'll just turn this off and I can show you. And this is gorgeous, and I don't know if you see it, but I don't have any bubbles or anything like that. So the front I want to do a little different than I did yesterday, because yesterday I used the remaining glitter inside here, and you don't need more than this. But I'm not sure that I like the way it colored around the edge, so I'll use clear resin instead and mix it with my glitter, white glitter. So this wasn't purple, but I actually looked through my box while this was drying, and I found this one that came with the set. So this is only these flakes. So I will use a little of my fine glitter, which I used on the back as well, and I'll mix it in. I also found these little stars, and I think they would look cute in the glitter as well. So again, I'll take a little silicone cup. I could have mixed it right on my silicone bed here, or yeah, this one matte, but I don't want to risk it being messy, and I'll just grab a new pair of gloves, because even though you don't get anything on your hands, you just have to touch something that's not dry. For example, my this tool here, I'm actually not sure what they are called, and then you'll have sticky fingers, and resin isn't good for your skin, and it's hard to get off once you get it on your fingers. So let me just pull out a few gloves again. And sometimes you can just do one, but I'll rather be safe than sorry. So I'll take 2 gloves on. So for this one, you really don't need a lot, because you'll only be touching the edges. So let's see if I can get it to focus. You need a clump about this size. There you go. I think this was a little better. So I'll just screw on the cap again, and I'll take a new applicator. Oops. Let's see, I think that something sharp like this might be really good for it. So I want just a little bit of the purple glitter. So I'll take first a tiny pinch, like that. I want a little of these. Like this. And I want to add some of the stars as well. And I think it might be easier to just take my brush here instead of pouring. I think that's enough. See if I can get it to pick this one up. I can't. just move it aside. So now that I have all my glitter, I can just mix it, and I'll just mix it with this one. And now it's just a matter of decorating my edge. So you see that I already have the UV resin and some of the glitter on my pen here. It doesn't really come off this one. I think I will shift to another sharp one. So I'll just take a lump like this, and I'll just spread it out as good as I can. If I get anything too much on the head or something like that, I can just kind of remove it. I hope you can see what I'm doing. And again, I'll speed up, but you continue with this until you're satisfied with the pattern, and you can just move over all these bigger glitter flakes as you want to have them arranged. For the text, I will try not to have too much glitter directly on top of the text, but I do want to have some to create this kind of outline on my sun and the text. So I'll speed up and show you once I'm done. So I think I'm satisfied by now. If you did see that I moved this down, and it was because I was grabbing a single star or a single round piece or something like that. So the fine glitter doesn't show as much. I probably could have used a bit more of that, but what I could do now is to take some of the colors anyway, although I said I wouldn't use it, and just kind of move around the edge here so I can get in some more color. And also this will make a little great detail in my beliefs. But you can decorate and do however you want on yours. And that's the great thing about UV resin. So I think this turned up enhanced it a little more. So now I'll have this cure, but only for like a minute or so, because I want to top coat it with a clear coat of UV resin. I just want to cure it enough so all these glitter flakes doesn't move. So 1 minute and we're back. So the reason that I push these underneath my lamp is because that's the easiest way to clean your tools, because you can just pop off sorry, the resin when you're using silicone appliers. So let's turn this off again and show you how it now looks like. So you now want to add a top coat, and you actually just pour this right off the can. So again, I'll see if I can zoom in and move this over here. and on a, move it over here. Make sure that it's flat. I had this crease on my mats, so I could see that it wasn't on the bottom. But then you just kind of move around, and again, don't use too much. You can always add in. So this is somehow the amount, and you could rotate it like this and have it follow almost to the edge. Just be careful of your hole. But it is easier, in my opinion, to lay it flat and then scrape it out to the edge like I did on the back. Once you think you have it, you can use this flat side and just kind of go around the edge, just to make sure that you didn't have any overflow. I don't think I have. And then you grab your lighter and just quickly move it over to secure that you don't have any bubbles. And when you have your lighter, you can quickly see if you're missing a spot. I don't know if you saw it, but I'm missing one right here. Do you see it? So if you have this, you just go in and kind of tap until it's fully covered. Then again, squat down and see, and I do see that I didn't get this part exactly right. But if you kind of just lift your, I'll just call it a brush, I don't know what these are called. But if you kind of lift your brush, it will take up some of your resin, and then you can kind of squeeze it over. So I think that's it. I might need a little more here. And if you don't get it right the first time, you can always add another layer. I actually did a few layers on my other ornament, keychain. I'll show you in a bit. But I think that's it. So just quickly move over your lighter. And it looks good now. So again, the lamp on. I'll give this 2 minutes. And you can place your tool underneath the lamp as well. And I'll just show you what I meant, because you can see that this is a little thick. I'll show you the comparison afterwards. But the problem was that my glitter here made kind of a pattern and some small grooves inside it, so it wasn't shiny like it is now. So I ended up giving it another coat. Also my edge, for some reason it was matte looking, so I added some more resin to the edge as well. And since I gave it the edge, I had to kind of take the front again. So you can always fix it by adding in more coats of resin. Just have in mind that the more coats you give it, or layers, the thicker it will be. But this is a keychain, so the thicker the better, in my opinion. But this needs to cure now, and I'll get back to you. While this is curing, I was actually cleaning up, and I came to think of another little thing. So I'll just carefully squeeze this in over here, because I still have just a tiny bit left from my resin here. So a great thing is to have some type of mold, and then you can use the remaining resin inside that. So it was supposed to go over here, but I dropped it. So I'll make this hard by just cleaning up my holder. And this is not something you have to do, but I like to keep or use up all my materials. I hate when stuff goes to waste. So that was one. And let's add in this one. And I now have a little heart that I can gift to grandma as well. Once you have your mold filled, take a little toothpick and you can make sure that it's going down to the edge. So for molds, I usually use my heat gun, but it's unplugged right now, so I'll just use my lighter to make sure that all my bubbles are gone. And if you have some of the glitter going upwards, you can kind of push it down to the resin. Usually it will go to the bottom, but not always. So let's take this underneath my lamp as well. And I think this might be secured. So I'll remove my gloves. I don't know if you see it, but they're really hot to wear. So when you're wearing latex gloves, make sure that you have all the latex off your hands before touching your stuff. But that's it. So my keychain is actually done. So all I need to do now is to add the hardware, and then this will be ready to gift. So a few things that could also happen when you're making this is that your stuff will be kind of tacky. And I'm not sure if it's because of the resin or if it's because of my lamp. So either it's because the lamp is not giving enough light, so it's not curing probably, or it is the resin. This didn't really happen with the resin that came with my machine, so I am guessing that it might have something to do with the resin I'm using now. But to remove any sticky or tacky spots on your material, you could use isopropyl alcohol and just wipe it off. That will kind of dissolve the tacky stuff. What I like to do is to use these micron graded polishing papers. So I place the micron on my table, and I just cut this from the sheet. I'll hold this so I don't get fingerprints on it, and then I'll just kind of move it in circles. The only thing that I don't like with this method is that the fibers from this can actually get stuck inside the tacky resin. But I'll rather have it shiny and smooth than I want it to be tacky. So I will take the small fibers if there are any. And you can see how it is kind of tacky. And also you might see now what I meant about the backside with the glitter in it compared to this one. So to make this perfect, I would probably give this an additional coat of UV resin, but you also might be able to see that the size isn't exactly the same. It's close, but this one that I gave additional coats are a little thicker, and also because I gave the edges twice, it's a little more bombastic. So that is what will happen if you give it an additional layer. If you had trouble with your hole being stuck of resin, you can use these tiny drills that's meant for jewelries. So you'll just go inside the hole and you'll keep turning until it's free again. To apply the hardware, I will give this an additional coat of resin, but I wanted to show you this first. You add a jump ring and you use tweezers. I only have one. I think my husband stole the other, but if you had two, you would grab them from each side and twist this way. Let's see if my finger is strong enough. Oops. Like that. You then insert it to the back of the hole, like that. And you can add a keychain of your choice and pinch these two together. And again, if you had two of these, it would be better, because then you could have them perfectly placed together. But let's see if I can do this with one. Like that. And I always take the assembled part and squeeze it inside the hole. And another thing you could do is to add a little tassel. So you need another jump ring. Like that. And I like to keep it either in the top part or just the next link here. If I can get it in. There we go. And then you just take your tassel, pull it through, and twist these two together, and they snapped like they're supposed to. So this is the finished result. I really love it, and I said I will give it another coat of resin. But anyway, I think Grandma is going to be really excited about this one. So what do you think? Please drop a comment below, and also if you have any additional tips and tricks. I'm pretty new to UV resin myself, so maybe you could teach me something. If you make anything from my videos, I would love to see it. So please feel free to join my Facebook helping group. It's called Lace Up with Mimo Design, and make any posts there. Or if you make any social posts, I would love to be tagged in it by Mimo Helped. So let's see this little heart. Just pop it out. And this is so cute as well. So the way to assemble this, I will use, it's called a buffer, I think. And take a little of the edges, or maybe just give it an additional coat of resin, then add a little jump ring and a necklace string. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a like, subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you soon.